Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be unboxing the Sidewinder 4 from Castle Creations. I will also be taking a look at the Castle Creations BEC 2.0 Waterproof, and I'll be putting it all on my Stampede 4x4. So this is the Sidewinder 4 with a 3800 kV motor. This is a sensorless system, but the motor does have the ability to be censored. The Sidewinder 4 is a fairly new product from Castle Creations. It has 2 to 3S LiPo capabilities. On the back is the guide chart, if you will. Sidewinder 4 ESC with a 2 to 3S capability on 2-wheel, 4-wheel trucks. And specifically, it looks like the 3S is with conservative gearing, Traxxas / short course trucks. So I'll go ahead and get into this. Alright, so inside the sleeve, there are 2 boxes. The heavier box is the motor. Pretty standard stuff, but I'll go ahead and show you anyway. Alright, so this is the 3800 kV motor, like I mentioned. It does come with the sensor cable, but I will not be using this with the Sidewinder 4. And here's the motor. Cables are already installed, all set to go. Alright, and so for the Sidewinder 4, so you get a quick start guide. There are, stickers. I can stick them everywhere. Yeehaw. And then you get a gearing chart, which is always useful. And there it is. There is the Sidewinder 4 in all its glory. Alright, so there's the ESC. Pretty standard stuff. The cable for the ESC. On-off switch. The ESC comes with a fan, so this is actually the cable that runs into your receiver box for the fan. And checking the website, these are the side cooling fins, supposed to allow for cooler temperatures. I think they call it Sino drive, something like that. But it allows for cooler temperatures. Now on the back, it gives you a little bit more specific as far as the specs here. 2 amp peak BEC. It does say that it is waterproof, but not intended to be, thrown underwater. I elected to go with the waterproof BEC version 2.0. This thing is adjustable on the Castle Link, and although I am running this on a Stampede, I do have the lights up front. Maybe one day I'll upgrade the servo. Right now I'm running the 2075X, the metal gear servo you find on a TRX4. But with the BEC, I'll have the power I need. This truck had the Mamba X in it. I did take it out to use in my TRX4. The motor that's in here is a 3800 kV motor. So I think I'm going to hold on to this motor. And I'll use it down the line, I'm sure. So off camera, I did open up the package for the BEC. Inside the cardboard has your basic wiring instructions. And you know what? No stickers. Yeah, man. You pay $37 for a BEC, you think they can at least throw a sticker in there. Oh well. Okay, so first things first, I am going to go into Castle Link, and I am going to program the BEC and the Sidewinder 4, and I'll show you what I'm up to. Alright, so real simple, I'm going to go ahead and plug the Castle Link into the BEC, and on my screen it changed to the Castle 2.0 Waterproof Battery Eliminator Circuit. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go up top. I'm going to go in the basic, and it has output voltage. It has 5.25 by default. I'm going to change that to 6 volts. And really that's all there is to a BEC. In the bottom corner I clicked update and ran through. So I'm going to go out to the home screen and I'm going to get my Sidewinder 4 connected. So with the Sidewinder 4 plugged in, you can see the Sidewinder 4 home screen. I'll go into basic. So on this screen you can see the auto LiPo volts cell set to 3.2. I'm going to leave it reverse type with reverse. There's really nothing to change on the Sidewinder 4. The Mamba X has more features, more adjustability. The last thing I'll check is the software tab. available versions 2.04, but that's the version I'm running, so there's nothing that needs to be updated at this time, so I'm in good shape. Alright, Amazon came while I was working out here, and I picked up the case, the Spectrum case for the DX5R. So not bad, the radio fits in pretty nicely. I actually have a receiver sitting in this little cubby hole here. So all in all, not a bad case. Hopefully it keeps me from breaking my DX5R prematurely. Anyway, back to the Sidewinder 4. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and solder the Traxxas connector to my Sidewinder 4. Alright, and while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and solder the leads to my BEC. Okay, so what I have going on here, I have a Traxxas connector. This is the old style connector. I have the BEC soldered into the main lines here. This will be the BEC plug that runs into my ESC. This is the main plug that runs off of the ESC. Since I'm running a BEC, this middle red wire needs to be removed. I don't like removing the red wire directly from the ESC line, so what I'll do is hook up a little extension line. I'll take off the red wire from the extension line. This way I don't have any problems with the main line running into the ESC. And I can simply just go ahead and tape this off. I think I'll just use a little shrink tubing to just close it off. And then the last thing I have to do is just go ahead and plug this in, matching the brown and brown. So they're going to be different colors, but I want to get the dark brown with the dark brown. Alright, so this is all set to go. Alright, so I'm ready to put the ESC into the Stampede. So like I showed you, the motor's already put in. I'm not going to touch this. This also has the temperature sensor on it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this alone. I will be using the RPM Mamba X bottom plate to give myself a more secure mounting point for the Sidewinder 4. Now the top of the cage, the RPM cage, will not fit the Sidewinder 4, but that's okay. This was laying around not being used, so perfectly fine just using the bottom plate. I'm going to use double stick tape to start out. We'll see how it goes. If the ESC loosens up, I might have to zip tie this at some point, but we'll see how it goes. I'll start out with double-sided tape. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug the wires in. I'll start with the B wire. And I'll plug in C. And I'll plug in A. Now if this is wrong, I'm not terribly concerned. This is a sensorless motor. So worst case, I just have to switch the wires around. If it was a sensored motor, I run the risk of blowing the ESC, possibly the motor. Just don't want to go there. So sensorless, not a big deal. Censored, pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, so this truck does run full telemetry. So I have the telemetry power tap that will need to tap into the Traxxas power supply or the Traxxas connector, and I like to just wrap around the wires just to keep them out of my way. Alright, so that plug is all set up. I'm going to now feed my lines into my ESC. So the first line I'm going to feed in is actually the line coming from the ESC. And then we'll go into slot number 3. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug the BEC lines in. Now it doesn't really matter where you plug these in, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'll go ahead and get this plugged into the extra steering channel, channel 1. And the other lead I will plug into channel 4. And the last line I have to run is for the fan. So I'll go ahead and feed this through as well. This box doesn't really have much area for me to feed things through, but I'll try to get this last one in. Alright, so that's going to go into channel 5. Right? I don't know, I'm losing track of my channels. So it's in a channel. I don't know what channel it is. At this point I don't really care. Alright, so I think I have everything hooked up. Let's do a quick calibration on the Sidewinder 4. So, yeah, and then do a quick test. So let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to use a Traxxas radio since this is a TQI receiver. So, to bind it up, I'm just going to hold the set button down, turn on the radio. The red light's going to blink. Because I have a BEC installed, as soon as I plug the battery in, it's going to make the receiver fire up. So I'm going to hold the button down on the receiver, plug my battery in, and I'm bound. Alright, so you can hear the fan kicking pretty well. ESC is now turned on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the ESC off. I'm going to pull the trigger all the way in on my radio and then turn the ESC on. After the beeps, I'm going to go full reverse or full brake. After the beeps, let it go full neutral. And my ESC is calibrated. So let's see if it works. Well, I got some wires mixed up, so go ahead and reverse these two. Like I said, sensorless, not a big deal. Alright, so with the wires reversed, I'll go ahead and plug this back in. And I will flip on the ESC. Now let's try it. Forward. Reverse. Alright. So I think off camera I'm going to go ahead and tidy this up, get the receiver box put back together, and I'll be right back. Alright, because I'm not using the censored port on my motor here, I'm going to just put a little dielectric grease in there, and that'll help keep grime and water, everything else out. So I could grease this if I wanted to, but I have so many wires running out of here, I don't think any water could possibly find a place. I do have a little bit of grease left, so I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so I'm just going ahead and zip tying some wires together. I usually kind of put the on-off switch, I just zip tie it. I see some people even cut them off, and you can twist the negative and positive together and just totally do away with the switch. I'll leave it on for now, even though it doesn't have the waterproofing kind of plastic around it like the Mamba X has. I'm still going to just go ahead and leave it on for now. Alright guys, so everything's cleaned up. Best it's going to be. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm not entering this thing in an RC car show or anything. But the wires are at least out of the way. They shouldn't interfere with anything. So I think I'm in good shape. I'm hoping that the lines running off the BEC don't interfere with the antenna. I have the BEC just double-sided taped to the chassis, so hopefully no interference is caused. So we'll see how it goes once I get a chance to really test this thing out. I've been extremely busy. I haven't had much time to really work or play with RC, but hopefully things start to die down soon and I can get back into having more time for the hobby. Alright guys, so that's basically about it. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day.